uh, wanting Sir to answer a few questions which I have put together. Questions, if I may say, questions, and he will be answering for me those questions. It will be a very freewheeling discussion, which is that this is not scripted at all. And number two, once we are done with those questions, we will request all of you, in fact, I will be unmuting you to ask you any specific question if you have for Dr. Saraswat. But however, I certainly know that it will be not possible for us to take up all questions. So I will only request that please make your questions very pointed, very specific. I'm sure a lot of the time we start our question with an appreciation, which is this was a wonderful session, but I will request you to keep that aside. Have a very straightforward question. That saves our time and that gives other people to really ask more questions. Okay. While I take up those questions, I've already told you the format will be a show of hand, which is through a reaction or the way ma'am or sir is showing. I and Priya, either of us, will give you a sequence of question as to who comes first, who comes second, and who comes third. So we'll try to take up as many questions as possible. So we now have 188 participants. This number should go up, but before that number is immaterial. Welcome, sir. Good to have you with us. And sir is already with us, in fact, so I will put sir on a spotlight. Here we are. Good to have you. And as I said, sir, the entire audience has been very eagerly looking forward to be with you. So firstly, my sincere thanks to you.
I'm already nervous, you know, the kind of introduction, the kind of
No. Don't say that. Don't say that. Don't say that. Okay. So, sir, I will quickly jump into this, and I will ask you this question, which many a times becomes a little trickier question, that I know for sure that you have not only led a boarding school, but then you have also led a day school for that matter, right? So my first question, sir, is that while you are raising the kids who are in a boarding school, or while you are raising a kid in a day boarding school, what is a basic difference do you see in the way these kids are raised, for that matter? Yes, sir.
These are two different words altogether, Gaurav. At the macro level, if you look at the boy who goes into a day school, parents are in charge of the life of the learning in most of the cases. And parents sit in the driving seat. And when parents decide to send the same child to a boarding school, they not only take a very big decision, but they also make a very big statement. And the big statement to a 12-year-old boy or 11-year-old boy is that my son, or my daughter, I understand that you are a responsible child, and we think that you are ready to take charge of your life. So the day the child enters into a boarding school, actually he is made to sit in the driver's seat. That is a very broad difference between these two. When a child is in day school, success of the child, you don't know whether a parent is playing an important role, or the school is playing an important role, or something which is happening after the school is playing an important role in that success or making of a child. So it becomes very, very difficult to understand that what is more vital and where is it coming from, whether it's a success or not as success. But in a boarding school, you understand that there are only two components. One is the school and another is child, where child has to be proactive. In a boarding school, you are not spoon fed. And what this is what I have understood, and this is what I have learned so far, that learning is extracted. So the more motivated you are, the more you wish to learn, the more you wish to, take advantage of this opportunity, the more you grow. So more motivated a child,
Okay.
and so more accomplished that child would be.
Mhm.
These are some differences. Other is when you talk to a child, and when these old boys come back and you ask them that, what do you think your important takeaways from a boarding school? For them, friendship for life plays an important role. Uh, I don't know how it happens in a day school, but in a boarding school, I have seen, wonderful relationships, and these relationships are forever. And for them, friends would come even before the family.
Yes, you're right.
And if you look at day-to-day life, the kind of responsibility or the kind of trust you give to the child, that he starts taking his own decisions, what kind of friends he is going to make, which subject, which teacher, time management, taking charge of himself, taking judicious decisions on his own. From So it's a different journey altogether, and both the journeys have got their pluses, both the journeys have got their minuses, and both the journeys have got their own challenges as well. Uh, and but the fact is, the more challenged you are as an individual, uh, chances are better to succeed in life. And challenges in a boarding school are on higher, and each challenge has to be addressed or faced as an individual. Your background doesn't make a difference. You could be anybody at home, but at the school you are taken on your face value, what kind of a person you are. You could be genius, it really doesn't matter. You could be a sportsman par excellence, it doesn't matter. What kind of a person you are, and what kind of value you put forth, this is what you is taken in cognizance as far as your relationship with other people is concerned. And that's where you also understand that your role in a community in a smaller way. These are just few big
Absolutely.
differences.
No, no. I will in fact lay out to you why even I asked that question for a very simple reason. I have seen few of my friends who went to the boarding schools, and obviously your larger pool is from the day boarders. But I have really seen some very striking difference in the boarding schools kid, for that matter. They were far more organized, if I may say. Not to say that is that's a only trait for a boarding school kid, for that matter. But then, as you said, they had a very strong impact on their friendship. They valued friendship very, very dearly. So I think what you put together is a question which I wanted to start with, only for a very simple reason, because
Mhm.
many a times we miss out, sir. That I have been hearing, that somehow there's a two school of thoughts: boarding or non-boarding, in a way. I usually get that both questions from a lot of the times. I'm father to two young daughters, and somehow or other down the line, I expect them to be a part of a boarding school, or possibly a day school, having said. If I may put you in a spot by asking you this question, which is I was asking as you were with us, I'm sure you must have, if not heard, I will repeat this question. Uh, what will be the right time, sir? What will be the right time as per you? Because as I say, you are a distinguished leader, to, in our current scenario, to open up our schools, possibly. Is there really a time which you really have? As I said, I have put you in a spot. So, but I think you can really take it away from your school. I mean, you cannot give your If you wish, you can take it outside of your school purview. So I'm not pointing it out, saying that what is, say, Scindia Boys School is doing. I'm saying that if you are a leader, and as a leader of a school fraternity, what is your take on this entire opening up or a delay or whatsoever? Yeah.
Not before September.
Yes. Okay. So not before September largely, right? Okay. Okay.
So as school leaders, all of us should be prepared, and actually we should have started preparing ourselves for meaningful engagement for next 3 months for our kids. And I'm just taking the liberty of using this platform that even if these kids come back earlier, the kind of mental trauma they will be coming out of, they would need a lot of counseling. At this point of time, academic cannot be and should not be our priority. Taking, care, taking care of the child and his mental health, her mental health, should be our priority. Supporting parents, because it has hit them also. Supporting parents, making them understand that these are part of life, and supporting the child, counseling them would be much more important. For this year, for me as a teacher, as a father, and as a principal, and you have to believe it, that academic is not a priority anymore. The child is, happiness is, life is, peace of mind is, because child is much more important than anything else. So what we have been talking about amongst ourselves, that let there be a blended approach, a very fine balance of academics and other kinds of uh, meaningful engagements which help the child to nurture from within, which gives him strength, mental, intellectual, and spiritual strength. Uh, there could be a possibility of reopening the school as and when it is possible. But this new normal is there and will always remain there. What kind of challenges it is going to throw at us, we are not sure. So when we are not sure that what kind of challenges will be coming our way, then what kind of preparation you should be doing. So the preparation, and whatever preparation you will be doing, you will be percolating it to the child. So I think it is more advisable that you prepare the child to take charge of this unpredictability. So the more we work on our kids, the more aims we have to address this situation. Because we will, even if we open the school because of government directives, we will not be able to win this battle. Anyways, this battle cannot be won. It can be only be challenged, but it cannot be won without the help of the child. Our students are going to play the most important role. We should know that we are just the caretakers, and we would always have a limit. We would be able to do to a certain extent. After that, this girl has to take charge. So we need to work on them as much as possible. So if we start engaging them online in the month of June or July, whenever our schools are supposed to open, I think more than academics, in my opinion, 30% of academics and 70% of everything else should be done. And we should also be engaging our parents, and we should be counseling them and making them understand कि पढ़ाई के लिए पूरा जीवन पड़ा है, और एक साल doesn't make much of a difference when you look at the large picture of the life.
sorry.
I hope I am able to answer.
No, absolutely, sir. मैं आपको वही बोला कि ये वाला क्वेश्चन कहने के लिए मेरे दिमाग में भी नहीं था, and I didn't want to pick up. But अभी ecosystem में this is so much right now everywhere. There's a complete webinar going on this, when to start, how to start. I thought that's more of a common sense question rather than you have to discuss it anyway. Which is why I'm thank you to you, that because we are getting to hear from you as a very objective perspective on that. And I didn't ask you from the Scindia perspective. I asked you as a school leader perspective, uh, which which is obviously, sir, my actually the entire idea of these sessions are largely, and I can be a little more candid here, is that there is lot of, if you see, a lot of information is flowing left, right, and center. Sometimes you are enamored by that information, and sometimes you are confused by that information, that how much to really take in or how much to really stay, okay guys, hold on, I don't need this information for that matter. So in fact, when we started this series at IPN level, we were doing almost everything alternate day. And then we understood that this is becoming way too heavy, because that time the intensity needed what very, very strong. People really needed hand holding. And now we are actually doing one session per week, wherein we want to do a very meaningful session, which creates an impact, which gives a very definite takeaway, and just not chasing when I say heck of the numbers, if I may say, right? So my question, which I've been getting on this leadership series every time I've been doing, is that how do someone who has been a teacher all throughout their life, now example, what is a typical model in our country is that I've been a 15-year or a 16-year teacher, now suddenly my management thinks I need to graduate to become a principal. So obviously these are two separate worlds altogether, and I'm sure you also must have transitioned that way. But anything in particular you would like to bring up when you were transitioned from being a teacher to a principal? What all major evolutionary changes you thought you brought into your own personality or in your style of leading, which you can possibly share with us here today?
That is hitting below the belt.
No. So I said, being a transition.
It has been extremely rewarding, yet a very painful journey. Extremely painful journey, Gaurav. Because it was unfortunate of me that I started my career as a teacher from the Doon School, which is as an,
not said the name, by the way. You should have avoided the name anyway.
as an exception like Scindia School.
Okay.
And I spent 16 years of my youth, the prime, 21 to 37. And other than teaching, which was 20% of the component, I was doing trekking, mountaineering, social service camps, sports, counseling, a lot of things. And we thought, that now we have started understanding education. And time has come when you can teach, and more than teach, you can preach. And I also started thinking that, that I have worked enough. Now time has come to impart instructions, preach, tell them about education, motivate them, give them a lot of gyan, and have chai in your office with Parle G. But I missed a very important lesson which was being given to me during my tenure at the Doon School. And I must share with all of us, because every situation gives you an insight about you, and one has to be extremely alert in any given situation. So I was considered to be very hardworking, bright uh, teacher, and school gave me a lot of responsibilities, a lot of opportunities to grow, and school was proud of me. There was no any annual function where my name was not mentioned, and I was also proud of my achievements. But somehow my headmasters did not see in me a capability of becoming head of the department or housemaster.
Okay.
And in my own mind, I was thinking that, when I am doing everything for the department, even HOD doesn't do anything. He just signs all those minutes of the meetings, and I am doing the planning. How come, I'm not being considered? The same thought I had about my housemastership, that when virtually I am running the house, then why I cannot be given an independent charge?
Right.
And this went on to an extent where I started thinking that I think school is blind, and they are not looking at the real capability of this person. And I am done with the school, and I should be leaving. And as luck could have it, I did not get a better opportunity, and they did not get better person to pick up to make housemaster. So after 9 years of my working at Doon School, I was given the opportunity to become a housemaster. And very happily, I jumped on that responsibility. My first meeting with parents, and I must submit to all of you that I did not know what to talk. I had no clue whatsoever. I was very good at my subjects. I was extremely good in the classroom. I was exceptionally accomplished in every activity which was given to me by the school. But I had no clue about the education, because I thought teaching was education and conducting these activities is part of education. But that day I got to know that education was something else. And I had no question, no answer for most of the questions for the parents. An entire evening I was sweating. I still sweat a lot, but that evening I was sweating a lot, and I started thinking कि गलती तो नहीं हो गई हाउस मास्टर बन के. And to myself, I realized that actually, even after 9 years, I was not fully prepared to become housemaster, because I was in charge of 47 lives, their careers, their happiness. And I was also custodian of the aspirations of the parents. I was also custodian of the ethos of the school, and I had to balance these three things, and I did not have the wherewithal. So after 9 years of teaching, investing, my learning started. As a man, you're forgetful. As a human being, you're forgetful. After doing it for 7 years, I again started thinking, अब तो सब सीख लिया. तो सीखना था वो सीख लिया. And then I became, founder principal of a school. And when I went there, जो सीखा था, I realized was of no use. क्योंकि जो सीखा था वो वहां के लिए था.
करेक्ट.
जहां मैं आया था वहां मैं उस जगह को लेके नहीं आ सकता था. वहां दूसरे स्किल्स की जरूरत थी, दूसरी अंडरस्टैंडिंग्स की जरूरत थी. And I failed myself again, and miserable. It was most miserable experience, and I'm thankful to the promoter, who took me and who kept me, kept on feeding me and giving my monthly, paychecks. for 2 years. And he tolerated me, and I knew that I was of no use to this guy. But anyways, I started learning um, about running a school, because when you become an administrator, your teacher should not die at all, but you should also know that you have to run that institute. And when you run an institute, you also become guardian. You're like a father figure. And it is not only education which takes place. Now you become responsible for the investment of the promoter, safety of that investment, prosperity of that organization, education of the kids, aspiration of the parents, and lives of the teachers, of all your colleagues, whether all your staff. So it's a huge, huge responsibility. And then you have to learn to balance it. So first 2 years, because that man was extremely kind, learning was good. A lot of learning happened in those 2 years. Then I moved to an organization which was run by Marwadi. And this person actually taught me to run the school. And now I would like to, bring you back to my student days when I was a child. My father used to tell me कि बेटा जैसे शरीर आत्मा की रक्षा करता है, उसी तरह प्रॉस्पेरिटी सामाजिक व्यक्ति की रक्षा करती है. Prosperity is very important. So whenever you become head of a school, you must ensure prosperity. You choose to live with frugality, that's your personal choice. But that doesn't mean that you should not pursue prosperity.
Very well said.
Okay. So each head, no matter how noble you are as an individual, this is what I have learned.
Yeah, absolutely.
No matter how noble you are, no matter what your requirements are and what you think, but let's keep in mind that an organization cannot run without prosperity. Your motivation could be different, but the people who are associated with the school, their motivations are different. And money, prosperity is an essential component of living in a society. So I learned about, spending judiciously from my second promoter. I understand value for each and every penny. At that time, I used to be very, very frustrated and upset. Ek rupaye par rote hain. But now sitting, when I have been given full charge of this, legendary school, I'm behaving like both those gentlemen. Because unless I don't use my resources judiciously, I will not be able to take my school forward. Because for everything you need resources, every kind of resource. So learning has been extremely painful so far, but I have understood 2-3 things: that don't let your teacher die at all, because that is the most primary thing. Learning should continue within and outside both. And when you become an administrator, you become the last person in the queue, and every other person is more important for you. And हमारे एक मित्र थे, वो कहते थे, संस्था सर्वोपरि, the organization comes first.
First.
And if you are a teacher, if you are a principal, even if your director or chairman or owner or the promoter is sitting in the school, you should know that you are the guardian, you are the face, and that school is your responsibility. They have invested money, but principal is the face. At least in this country, parents want to see face of the principal, not any other face. So if we, take this, then the ownership comes automatically. I know that there are several kind of challenges, and some challenges cannot be avoided. But there is another fact that if we have accepted this responsibility, then we should know that we are the guardians of the school, and school should come first. Gaurav, is that enough?
Is that enough? No, not at all. No. So I think I have asked you two difficult questions. You look, you're searching for water, I believe. Yeah. See, I think so, right? I've asked you two difficult questions. So let me ask you one question on a lighter note. So when you, because I know that half of yours, but I won't mention that half, but I want you to share with us, which is that once you're not wearing the hat of a school leader, how do you unwind? How do you really calm your nerves down? Because I somehow feel, and there are 250 principals of dear friend of mine are here, I think they do not really unwind somehow. They look very stiff to me somehow. What do you say? How do you unwind, if I may ask you that question? What is your getaway?
I don't have to.
Acha. Okay.
I don't have to, because my colleagues are my friends.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
And my students are my friends.
Okay.
It's only those 5 minutes of the assembly I behave like a principal.
Okay.
That's it. That's lovely. The only time.
That's so.
And boys are happy, teachers are happy. कि जितना भी ज्ञान मिलना है वो assembly में 5 मिनट मिलना है.
Correct. Very nice.
That's another thing is, I don't know, maybe it's different for me. But my job has been my life. So, and it's a service. It's not a job for me. It's a service.
Correct.
And I'm telling you very honestly that for me, there is nothing which is called stress at all. I get under pressure. I get challenged, and when you have to, whenever you are challenged in life, but never ever stressed, and never ever, there is no. If given an opportunity, I will never leave fort.
You will never
leave fort. I will always stay at fort with my boys, with my teachers.
Okay. At your school, you mean to say? Yes. Correct. Oh, lovely. No. So which is important, right? Which reflects in the. So I consider myself an outsider, and I have only heard that under your leadership, your institution has gone the distance, if I may say. It was running through challenging times when you took over. I personally, and this is a very neutral view which I have got from your alumni. So when we put this out on the social media, I was actually getting these random messages on my Facebook, on my WhatsApp. Oh, great to have Dr. Saab, and he has taken the institution to the next level. So I'm just being a messenger to you that obviously that has all translated into success, if I may say.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Most welcome, sir. So this last question from my side, and then I will open this up for our distinguished leaders with us today. Any change do you see, sir? I mean, any broader, or obviously there are changes, but then what specific changes do you see which COVID possibly would have an impact on our schooling system? What are, say, example, 3 major changes you would see post-COVID or with COVID, if I may say?
Technology will play an important role.
Okay.
So all of us need to get ready for that.
Mhm.
Uh, Boys would need, we would have to spend a lot of time in counseling and upgrading ourselves for sure.
Okay.
And uh, relevance of, physical schools will always remain there.
Mhm. Mhm.
But the probability is that now there will be fine blending of online and offline.
Correct. Correct.
And if you wish to survive in this business, in education field, then schools would have to do a lot of investment in upgrading teachers' skills, lot
Very
of
true.
investment in training and grooming. The good thing about this is, and the way academia has responded to this challenge is miraculous.
Phenomenal. Absolutely. Phenomenal.
Miraculous. We could not have expected this kind of potential from ourselves.
Absolutely.
And what has come in front is unique. So there is a possibility, there is a potential. Now, what we have to see that how pragmatic we are as academic leaders and owners of the school, and if we understand that spending money in training teachers, upgrading them, upgrading infrastructure is not a cost item.
Exactly.
Actually, it is an
Investment.
investment item, and more so, it is also it will be also essential for survival
Absolutely.
of the schools within this new normal.
Which we are now going to see for that matter. Yeah.
That's right. The change, another change I am perceiving is in assessments.
Correct.
I think teaching learning in India,
Correct, sir.
uh, there will be a paradigm shift in teaching learning.
So these are the broad chair. Absolutely. So that's what we wanted to hear from you as well, that we are largely on the same lines. That's the sort of a discussion we've been having. And obviously, when we hear from you, we get a little reassurance that actually we've been on the right track, if I must say. Okay.
एक अच्छी बात और हुई है,
बताइए सर.
पेरेंट्स को एहसास हो गया कि टीचिंग बहुत मुश्किल है. नेक्स्ट पीटीएम में पेरेंट्स ज्ञान नहीं देंगे.
ज्ञान नहीं देंगे. तो मुझे
And
लगता
they
है
have become partners.
they have become partners. You're right.
And school leaders should not let this opportunity go.
Correct. Correct.
Strengthen this relationship, because now they understand the pain of teaching the kids.
Correct.
They understand the strengths and weaknesses of their kids. They understand what is expected of a teacher. And now they have started realizing that even parents have to play a role there. So the ground is ready. Now it is up to us that how we utilize it.
Absolutely.
Favor of the child, not for ourselves.
Correct. Correct. Okay. Chaliye. I think you've answered all questions very sportingly, sir. And I thought I had one question which went below the belt. I thought that should have been more, I would say. But never mind. I think you've been a true sport. So I will now open up the house for the question, if you allow me to do so.
Please.
And I will
don't ask difficult questions.
No. Instead, I would say, yes, you should ask a difficult question. Never mind. चलिए मैं unmute कर रहा हूँ आपको. But before I go there, Galaxy 7 Pro said, I mean, I'm so sorry, आपका नाम वही डिस्प्ले पे आ रहा है. तो but अब आप जो भी हैं आप पूछ लीजिएगा. तो मैं आपको unmute कर दे रहा हूँ. But having said this, first is Galaxy 7 Pro. आप अपना नाम change कर लीजिए. Rama Motto. We go to the second question is yours. Bhavna Mittal, you go on the third question. Vikas Sharma is your fourth, and Miss Geeta Devan is the fifth question in the queue. So I'm just quick. Galaxy 7 Pro, please ask your question, ma'am. Go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I would like to inform you that I'm from a very small place, and we have many problems regarding technology over here. So, like technology is a very broad word if applied to a place like this. So, what are the essentials that we should look for when we want to start online classes successfully?
मैम आप कहाँ से बोल रही हैं, थोड़ा वो भी बता दीजिए, अपना अपना परिचय दे दीजिएगा प्लीज, तो अच्छा रहेगा थोड़ा सा।
Yeah, I'm Rita Mandavia and headmistress at Adeshwar Academy from Jagdalpur, which is Bastar, I should say. You'll recognize it.
बस्तर में, हाँ ठीक है, वेरी नाइस, बस्तर से आप। सर, ओवर टू यू सर।
Okay, good evening, ma'am. I understand, that at least for the 70% of our students, there is a problem that no matter what we talk about technology and online teaching, but there are two countries in this country. One is India,
One is Bharat.
is Bharat. And there is a problem with Bharat and online teaching. The first and foremost, what we can, if there is internet connectivity, then you can use Zoom, you can use Microsoft Team, you can use Google Classroom, and your teachers can, prepare PowerPoint presentations, PPTs, record their classes, put them on YouTube, and these kids can download from there. But the best would be, to take a license from Microsoft Team and create classrooms there, and buy some sort of blackboards. There are, they give you some diaries and they work as whiteboards for you. You can use them. But it's a very difficult question to answer, ma'am, because it is easy for me to talk about online because we have got ample resources. But for you to start with, I think please adopt these very simple ways of reaching out to the students. You can use the mail, a Gmail account, you can use WhatsApp accounts. The teachers could, record or write their notes and transfer these to the kids, and then kids could revert on the same. When we were not very efficient with Microsoft Teams and we were not keen to use Zoom, my teachers were using WhatsApp and they were extremely happy. They created groups on WhatsApp number.
Yeah, that's what we do, sir.
Ji.
Thank you so much.
Rama, Matu, your question. You can unmute yourself. And I will request to just give a brief introduction about yourself and the city you are from. That will be good enough. Okay?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, Dr. Madhav. I am Dr. Rama Matu. I am from Jammu. I work here in a school. First of all, thank you for sharing your whatever journey you said it is painful or whatever. Everybody's journey is somehow somewhere painful and somewhere it is fruitful. So thank you for sharing your journey. Number two is that you actually touched the main chord that teachers should not, we should always give importance to the teachers. And very rightly said that if we talk as principals, when we talk to our management regarding trainings and other, workshops for the teachers, it's always that why are we going to do this expenditure? So now it's very clear to almost all the management that it is not an expenditure only, it is basically an investment which will give fruits to the organization. And very well said that organization comes first. I totally agree with all the things. But now a question comes, whenever the schools reopen, maybe in September, maybe in August, whenever we reopen with the schools, the children have been, undergoing a lot of stress, a lot of loneliness because yours is a boarding school. So how are you planning to deal with the stress and the loneliness of the students that they have undergone during this pandemic?
Okay, so there are two aspects. One is that what are we doing right now? If we have understood, if we have identified that these kids are undergoing loneliness and there is a stress, which means we have already identified this issue. So it has got two components, that what do we do while they are at home at this point of time so that this problem doesn't get escalated. And if we can address it right now, it is very good. And second phase is when these kids come back to the school. So when these kids come back to the school, counselors will be playing their role. It's a different thing altogether. But the good thing is that they will come back to their own friends, the same age group. And from 2 BHK or 3 BHK, they will come back to 170 acres of property, where they will have a lot to do, lot of meaningful engagement, lot of activities. More importantly, have their own friends to talk, socially engage. But what are we doing at this time is that even these days when there is no academics taking place, every day we have 1 or 2 activities with our kids. So we keep them busy for 2 to 3 hours. There could be yoga, there could be some sporting activity, there could be some co-curricular activities. For example, in the morning today, class 8D was having English debate.
Okay.
So we are keeping them engaged. And when this debating thing was going on, I just went into the classroom and I started disrupting the class. And they started asking me question, and the question was, sir, what do you prefer? Do you prefer chocolate ice cream or vanilla? So I said, why are you asking this question? So they said that, we want to submit a proposal to you that you should be giving chocolate ice cream in the dining hall instead of vanilla. So that was the point of discussion. Now, why I'm sharing this is that meaningful engagement doesn't mean that every debate, every talk has to be serious. Everything has to have an agenda. If you work only with an agenda, I'm sure that it is going to create stress only. And I was so happy with my teacher. And the teacher was nervous because he thought, sir, kya kahenge, that I'm discussing, ice cream with the kids. That's my debating point. But this is what is going to help them to unwind.
Right. Totally in agreement. Actually, we have to inculcate this happiness among them. So, it's not any agenda or any topic, serious discussion going on with the students. Right, sir?
So unfortunately, unfortunately, what has happened, that teacher-taught relationship has come that, every transaction, every communication has to have an outcome.
Yes. That is how we perceive it.
इसको हटा दीजिए, फिर देखिए, अच्छा लगेगा.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. I have one more question. Actually, you said that one good thing happened during this pandemic is that parents realize how difficult the teaching is. See, just abhi the mom who was questioning you. So being in J&K, I know your students are there in Sandhya from J&K as well. So if it is not Wi-Fi, the student is, or the general people here are on 2G. And many a times it's a problem of connectivity, broken voices, broken videos, and, not many problems. So many times it's happening like parents are still cribbing about the online classes. Most of the times they're cribbing about the online classes. If I talk about my school, we took a sort of a PT and we met, I took a Zoom meeting with the parents, and it was always वो भाषण स्कूल में आके देते हैं, वो ऑनलाइन दे रहे थे. मैडम ऐसा नहीं है, मैडम ऐसा नहीं हो रहा है, ये नहीं हो रहा है. It's like, why is it that every time negatives are coming from the parents? We have changed our strategy. We try to start with the positives of the child. and then we come on the negatives. But how can we change the scenario with the parents? It's like every time they're on the head. This thing is not happening, that thing is not happening, this is not appropriate, that is not appropriate, you should go with this. हमारा connectivity का issue है, हमारे पास phone नहीं है, हमारे घर में 3 बच्चे हैं, how can we manage with one phone? Many problems. So what do you suggest, how can we help dealing with these things?
Acceptance plays an important role in these situations.
So
The first acceptance is that India is land of wise men. So gyan bahut hai. So you should be ready to receive that gyan in any given situation, like I am sharing. Okay, that's one. Second is that we need to identify and break these issues into different baskets. One is that how many parents, what is the percentage of the parents talking like this or creating these awkward situations for this?
No, sorry to interrupt. It happens in the class also when we are physically in the school. If one parent starts talking about anything negative, the rest of the parents follow the same person. Same thing is happening online as well. One person starts talking something, and the whole line starts off up on the same.
This is what I am saying. So first we identify our parents, put them into categories: troublemakers, silent, followers, supporters. Strengthen supporters. And the second basket should be of issues, real issues.
Correct.
So if there is a issue, there is an issue. If there was no issue, then they would not have created ruckus. Okay? So for example, there is an issue of connectivity. So tell your teachers to record the classroom transaction, put it on YouTube, tell your parents that we understand that we live in J&K and we have to live with this handicap. So what we are doing is that we are putting this classroom transaction on YouTube. Whenever it is feasible, please download it and listen to it. But in my opinion, acceptance is extremely important. And there has to be reason. You have to, even if they are troublemakers by nature, they are able to find reasons. So don't give them reasons. And that is our responsibility. Every parent, if I have accepted a child, if I have accepted a parent, then I have to accept them in their totality. So these problems are my problems, and we have to learn to address to those. And no problem is a small problem, ma'am.
Very true.
No problem is a small problem. और हम कभी अपने आप को उनके बूट्स में खड़े करके देखें, वो what they are going through and where is it coming from. You should also understand that where is it coming from. हमारी उनके साथ relationship कैसी है. और हम हर जगह कुछ ना कुछ ट्रबल मेकर्स जरूर होते हैं.
Right.
को थोड़ा सा अलग से डील कर लीजिए, उनको भीड़ में मत डील करिए, उनसे वन ऑन वन करिए, उनसे पूछिए कि आपके क्या इश्यूज हैं, आपके क्या आइडियाज हैं, आप हमको अपने आइडियाज दीजिए. और फिर जब आप मीटिंग करें और उस मीटिंग में बुलाएं तो आप कहें कि मिस्टर गौरव यादव से मेरी बात हुई और मिस्टर गौरव यादव ने मुझे ये बहुत सारे आइडियाज दिए एंड आई एम सो थैंकफुल टू गौरव यादव. एंड गौरव यादव कहेंगे कि अच्छा मैं आपकी पार्टी में आ गया.
So our
नाम गलत बोल गए, बस नाम आपने गलत बोल दिया. देव शाश्वत बोलना था आपको.
So our connectivity goes from children to parents and it's continuing. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
भावना मित्तल जी, आपका क्वेश्चन, आप अपने आप को अनम्यूट कर सकती हैं. अनम्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज. Sorry. Haji, Bhavna ji.
Sir, my question is a very odd question, but really it's a need of our. So you are a leader and you have got so much experience. So nowadays we are not getting the fees in Rajasthan. I'm basically running a school in Rajasthan. This is Madan International School. And here Rajasthan government has also given the orders no school can demand for the monthly fees even. So from April onwards, we have not got a single penny from parents. Like, those who are willing, they have given themselves. Otherwise, everyone has made a mode ki till the time government is not saying us to pay, we will not pay. So, in this such scenario, we are coming across from other principals and other schoolists that they are going to cut short the salary of principal, of teachers, and all the staff members. So, what is your opinion? It is to be cut or not? And if it is to be cut in such crucial time, then how much reduction should be there?
This is the time when promoters and the school owners have to come in front to support the school, and you should have very candid discussion with them. It is not that fee will not come; it will come, but it will get deferred by 2 months or 3 months. That is point one. So you should engage yourself very boldly and candidly uh, with your management. You should tell them that your teachers are your real resources. And if you cut their salary for no reason, because in my opinion, my teachers have worked 200% more than the usual hours and they are still working. So for teachers, for all of us, there is nothing which is called summer break, and there is no loneliness, there is no
Yeah,
work,
overloaded with the work.
so rather I would say that they should be compensated for all these things. So and this is where also the leadership and the courage of leadership. Courage is an important aspect of leadership. Courage you have to muster enough courage to have candid discussion with your management. Make them understand it's a business and it's a bargain. It's a business and it's a bargain. So you have to talk to them, talk about the value proposition of your plan to them. On the other hand, it is again responsibility of the principal, not of the management, to ensure that fee starts trickling in. And it is, I would say, as principal of the school, and please don't take me otherwise, it is my responsibility. It is not management's responsibility to ensure that fee comes in, because I'm going to ask myself, and my management will be 100% right asking me, "Ki bhai, what are you doing? What kind of relationship do you have with your parents? They don't trust you. They don't respect you."
Exactly.
Because giving fee means they don't respect contribution. They don't respect you for education which we have been imparting to their kids. So again, it boils down to our relationship with our parents. What kind of relationship? So you have to, and I'm sorry, but it is your responsibility. It is nobody's responsibility that you have to come in forefront. You have to talk to your management to support you for a month or 2 months. On the other hand, if you have to go door to door to collect the fees, please go door to door. Talk to the parents. Engage them as much as possible. But, and there is no solution to it. जो मेरे को फिट सूट करेगा वो आपको सूट नहीं करेगा, क्योंकि आपके पेरेंट्स मुझे नहीं पेरेंट्स हो सकता है कोई 50% देने को तैयार हो, कोई 25% देने को तैयार हो. And my gut feeling is that 70% of the parents would be ready to give. वो सिर्फ आपसे ये रिक्वेस्ट करेंगे कि मैम डिफर कर दीजिए, अभी मैं इतना नहीं दे सकता हूँ, आप 50% ले लीजिए, 40% ले लीजिए. But start engaging them. Have you shared a plan with the that we understand that there is a financial crunch and you will not be able to pay this installment? So looking at this, this is the provision we have made. Have we shown any empathy, or there is no dialogue with the parents?
Sir, we had made calls through my office department. We have made calls to parents, and one soft notice also we have sent to them. Very soft notice. because in like we cannot send any official notice over here because we are in
Ma'am,
now.
ma'am, communication from the principal and communication from the teachers. Admin is not going to play any role. It is our relationship with the parents.
Our teachers,
Is
our
valuable.
teachers never made call to, sir, our teachers never made a call to parents regarding fee and all. It was the rule being made day one that none of the teacher will call the parents for
You
fee collection.
call.
It is
You
only
should be calling.
okay.
You
Okay.
should be calling. I'm so sorry. Please don't take me wrong at all. But I am
Mhm.
business head of the institute, and if there is a staff under me reporting to me, then their welfare is my responsibility.
Right.
At this point of time, I cannot tell the management that it is your responsibility. Actually, it is my responsibility. I am also a business head. It's a very ugly word to say for an institute, for an organization. But I talked about prosperity. And now I'm talking about as a business head. You are head of the. So it is my responsibility. Or look at your resources, look at the pool, talk to the teachers. ये मेरे पास इतने पैसे हैं, 3 महीने हम इस तरीके से खर्चा चला सकते हैं. So let's take cut for 30%, 40%. और जब स्कूल खुलेगा फीस आना शुरू हो जाएगी, हम तुमको रीपे कर देंगे.
That already we have discussed with teachers. That already we have discussed, and we have dispersed 50% of salary also to the staff. But
Bhavna
as
ji,
things are
if
still,
if I can interject, I think
yeah,
what sir is mentioning
yeah,
is that
sir's
you
point I
as
have
a
got, sir.
leader,
Yeah,
I
I
think you
have
have to
to.
be smart enough. You'll have to understand the
Yeah,
perspective. Right?
yeah,
Okay?
I've got
Chalo.
it. I've got
I
it.
hope you got the drift. चलिए,
Yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you.
विकास
Thank you
शर्मा
so
जी,
much.
आपका क्वेश्चन
Thank you.
अनम्यूट कर सकते हैं अपने आप को आप.
Am I audible, sir?
बिल्कुल, बोलिए.
सर ऐसा है कि मेरा क्वेश्चन जो है टेक्नोलॉजी से रिलेटेड है. जो पहला एक आई एम अ
थोड़ा परिचय
प्रिंसिपल
दे
इन
दीजिए अपना.
आदित्य बिरला पब्लिक.
थोड़ा पढ़ दीजिए. हाँ. विकास जी, थोड़ा सा परिचय दे दीजिएगा अपना.
बिरला
आप कहाँ से बोल
पब्लिक
रहे हैं?
पिंडवाड़ा.
जी जी, बोलिए बोलिए.
सर मैं आदित्य बिरला पब्लिक स्कूल पिंडवाड़ा से बोल रहा हूँ सर.
जी.
और मैं यहाँ पे प्रिंसिपल हूँ सर. ये एक रिमोट एरिया है सिरोही डिस्ट्रिक्ट के अंदर.
जी.
और सर ये जो चैलेंज है टेक्नोलॉजी का, ये रिमोट एरियाज में खास तौर पे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा है. इसके लिए एक सर सॉल्यूशन मैं आपको बता सकता हूँ. शायद मैंने ट्राई किया था पहले. ये एक एयरटेल वगैरह है, जियो वगैरह है, एक आरएफ लगाते हैं रेडियो फ्रीक्वेंसी वाला, जो इंटरनेट आराम से वहां पे स्कूल पर बीम कर सकता है. और वो बीम से आप अपने टीचर्स को वहां क्लासेस में बुला लें, अलग अलग क्लासेस में. नॉर्मल टीचिंग जैसे हम तो ये कह रहे हैं कि सर वीडियो ऑनलाइन टीचिंग का मतलब यही नहीं होना चाहिए कि भाई आपने पढ़ा रहे हैं, बच्चा उसी वक्त अवेलेबल हो. उसका वीडियोस बनवा लीजिए और यूट्यूब पे डाल दीजिए, जैसे सर ने भी सजेस्ट किया था. दैट वाज अ वेरी गुड आइडिया. सेकेंडली द फाइनेंस पार्ट. Financially, so sir, we are leaders, so we have to take a call. Like what you suggested, allow the class teachers also to take the responsibility of the raising fees from the class. And overall, wherever the difficult cases are there, as a principal, I should be taking the call. What is the problem? If he is not satisfied with the quality of teaching, then we are responsible as a team, sir. We will improve and get back to you again, to such parents. And the third part is we need to have more communication with parents nowadays, because these are troubled times for them also. And if I don't lead it from the front, for my teachers, so then I am not a good leader. I should be taking the call, because I am into a running of a business where I should head. Finances also are to be looked. और टेक्नोलॉजी इंटीग्रेशन के लिए मेरे को अपने टीचर्स को और अच्छा करवाना है. तो सर इसके लिए अंदर और क्या अच्छा कर सकते हैं? अभी हम केवल व्हाइट बोर्ड और उसके थ्रू माइक्रोसॉफ्ट टीम के थ्रू बात कर रहे हैं बोर्ड पे कर रहे हैं, तो नॉर्मल टीचिंग के है. क्या इसको और इंटरेक्टिव बनाया जा सकता है? कुछ ऐसे स्पेसिफिक टूल्स सर आपके यहाँ अगर टीचर्स यूज कर रहे हैं तो वी कैन ऑल्सो ट्राई दैट. So that was my
सर,
point.
आप गौरव जी के साथ अपने कोऑर्डिनेट्स छोड़ दीजिए. जो मेरे आईसीटी हैं मैं जरूर कनेक्ट करा दूंगा. एंड अगर गौरव तैयार हो, we can have next session where some experts of ICT could come together and
Yes, sir.
we can have discussion.
We can do that.
Because
So
that is
if you
not
go
my
in a
forte.
broader,
That is not my forte.
okay, right. You're very honest, sir. You are very honest and down to earth respect.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Okay.
Gita Diwan ji,
Thank
आपका
you.
question. Yeah. You can unmute yourself, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Dr. Saraswat.
Good afternoon, ma'am. How are you?
I'm very well, Ji. What a wonderful session. I'd like to, first of all, thank you. I'm really enjoying every second, every minute of it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Dr. Saraswat, a quick question. Do you think that students are safer in the boarding school rather than in a day school
Uh,
when they go back?
Yes.
Join?
Yes, if you ensure that they are not carrying virus, then they are much more in a safer zone compared to day school.
And Dr. Saraswat, do you think you all will have some testing done for the children? How will you ensure, will you have, class-wise joining, or will you wait for directives from CBSE or from, how are you planning to reopen the school for the borders?
We have got a COVID mitigation team which has worked on all the aspects from arrival to mess and laundry, etc. And what we have done is that we are working on 3 assumptions. First assumption is that when the school is going to open, and whenever school gets open, we will get class 10 and 12 first to the boarding school, then 9 and 11, and after that class 6. And they will be brought in a staggered manner, not together. And because we have got plenty of place, so first we will keep them for first 4 or 5 days, we will keep them in isolation. They would have to bring their certificate from the home, but on the other hand, we will also get the checkups done. And once we are sure that they are not carriers of that virus, they will come to their main houses. And this process will take around 30 to 45 days. This is as far as kids are concerned. And then all teachers are living on the floor. And what we have also thought that even essential staff will live with us, and we will be taking care of them, whether it is their messing or it is their laundry, so that hygiene can be, kept under check, under control. So this is what, and we are also planning to have 2 shifts, 1 shift for the senior kids, another shift for senior kids, sports in shifts, and sports will be non-contact sports. Mess again will be, there will be 3 shifts number wise. So all that we have done, a lot of protocols we have done. Nevertheless, all these protocols could only be implemented once we have the guidelines from the government, because there cannot be anything which is out of that purview. So on ground, we have done a lot of work, ma'am. And we can, right now, I can very safely say that compared to day school, kids will be much better off in a boarding school. Would you have any other specific aspect of that?
No, Dr. Saraswat. Actually, I'm a little concerned because I also have about 200 boarders as well as a day school. So there's going to be a mixture, a hodgepodge. So I'm, waiting for directives.
This is
Okay.
a document.
Okay. Okay.
And I can share with you. I will send it.
Thank you so much.
You know the school, you know the geography.
Yes.
School. You will be able to relate that why kids will be in Kanerkhed, or why they will go to Soba House, not to Raji House to start them. And through this, then we can discuss it.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Saraswat.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
Ambika Vasudev, your question, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So I would like to introduce myself. I am Ambika Vasudev, and I'm blessed to share that I am India's first confidence coach for high school students, and associated as a consultant with the schools in NCR, and now after this COVID-19 all across India. So I would like to share one of the experiences of a webinar that I attended with one of the, with the Dean of the Stanford University, and he was totally focused on, bringing in light, throwing light on that there is definitely a huge, major transition that is happening in the entire education ecosystem, wherein students as learners and teachers as instructors, there is a shift. So students have to become independent and innovative learners, and there'll be a lot of autonomy in learning. So similarly, teachers, they are supposed to, become the facilitators, not the directors anymore. So I would like to ask sir, because it's been a beautiful experience. The whole session was so meaningful, sir. What are those baby steps? What are the first few baby steps that you would suggest that a school can take to make this transition, just initiate that transition, which is much needed with this, COVID-19 situation?
I think the initiation has already started. When child is not with you and you have given him or her some work and that has been submitted on time, which means the child has started taking responsibility. But what we should be doing more often is that we should be creating groups, giving them a lot of projects. We should be give individual projects as well as group projects, and we can flip classroom. I lost you, Ambika. Is it Ambika?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we can also start flip classroom. For example, the teacher should give confidence to the kids, divide the syllabus into groups or individuals, and tell them that, look, I don't have resources, and tomorrow Ambika will take class on mountains of India. And Ambika is team leader. She has got these 4 people, and Ambika will take broadly the introduction of mountains in India, and others will do this part. And I think there has to be a mindset change in the sense that we should accept that these kids can do it. They can be better facilitators, better teachers than them, and they will do a fantastic job. So the day I start believing that I can take backseat in the classroom, I think this change will start. So in Indian, Indian background, it is more of a mindset where we need a lot of change, and I think it has already started because these kids are smarter technologically compared to us, and whenever there is a glitch, you will ask Sumit to help you in the classroom.
So true, sir, so true. And what you said, that learning is a process of extraction, that was something that just I was glued to this statement, and it just took my heart away, because I too strongly believe that that it is totally up to you, your own self. If your self-belief system is in place, once you believe that yes, I can do it, you can actually do it. And I'm so happy to be a part of this group, and hearing you has been it has made my day. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Phanendra Balaji, your question, please. We'll take up another couple of questions, sir, and that's pretty much where we will wind this up. Yeah.
Okay, my lord.
Phanendra Balaji, you can ask.
Good evening, sir. Good evening. Is my voice audible, sir?
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Sir, very good evening, sir. This is Phanendra Balaji from Bhopal, sir. Our school is also a boarding school of 750 students.
Ji.
So my question is, sir, we are trying our best methods. As you've already the principals have already discussed, we are sharing our videos through our website, and we are uploading it in YouTube, and also we are sending it to the WhatsApp, all possible medium. My question is, we are not able to connect to the students as we are required. For example, if we take class-wise, if I have 40 students, I'm only getting connected with only 10 students who are regularly attending it. I'm leaving that remaining 30, and despite we calling, we're doing all possible ways, we're not able to do that. And then the teacher is getting upset. He's putting his 200% effort, but still the connectivity to the students is not happening.
आप बुरा तो नहीं मानेंगे मैं कुछ कहूँगा तो?
Nice, please.
This situation is forcing us to look inward.
Sure.
That despite 200% from your side, the return is 20%. Do you see the deficit is 100%?
Yes, sir.
If this deficit is 100 and one should be extremely alarmed with this. The problem doesn't lie with the child. The problem doesn't lie with no response. The problem lies why there is no response. And at this point of time, we actually need a lot of soul searching. It has to be inward journey. And then you should also look at the data. Is it with all the teachers, with certain teachers? Is it with all the subjects or with certain subjects? Is it all the classes or certain classes? So for example, and it's not that this problem is being faced only by you. Even our teachers, our school faces this problem of absentees. So what we have seen is the bright kids will always be there.
True, sir.
The concerned parents will make sure that even the mediocre child is there. But it will be very difficult to get the child of class 9 because he has just moved from age 12 to age 13 and he is still not in class 10 and he is still a child and you know that I can take liberties. Then you will see a lot of absenteeism in class 11 because they have just come out of class 10 and somehow they know class 11 is not for studies. So you have to look at the patterns, you have to understand why first. Unless we understand why, we will not be able to respond to this, and there cannot be a blanket response to this. So I can again give you, there will be 100% attendance class 12 physics, and the same class there will be 40% attendance in class for English, because kids don't take English seriously. I'm just giving you some examples based on the data which we have studied. We have actually struggled, or most of us are struggling. And I'm adding to one more problem, that as a head of the institute, you should be extremely careful. It is not only attendance, it is also learning outcome. That you are giving 200%. But is it reaching there? How do you ensure that it is reaching there? And if it is reaching, how much is it reaching? Because whatever is the backlog, when these kids come back to the school, you would have to complete that backlog. And being residential school, it is sole responsibility of the school to ensure proper transaction of the syllabus. I hope I am able to answer, Mr. Balaji.
True, sir. True, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Next question is, I think, by Nandini, because I could see, but it is reading iPad. So Nandini, I'll unmute you and you can ask your question, and then we will have final two questions from Pooja Yaduvir and Mahajan Upma, and then we will be concluding this session. Okay? Nandini, if you have a question, you can please unmute yourself. You'll have to unmute yourself, Nandini. I'll move to Pooja. Pooja, if you can unmute yourself and ask the question, please. Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm already unmuted. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible.
Yes.
Good evening, sir. I've had the pleasure to meet you in Gwalior around a year and a half back.
Okay.
And I have a lot of officers with me who are Sindhians, and I was just telling that that I'm going to be in a conference with you.
Okay.
So they've dropped in their hellos.
Okay.
Okay, sir, my question is that you talked about assessment, that we can kind of modify the assessments that we are planning throughout the year. So could you throw more light upon them, that how can we do that? Can we reduce upon the number of assessments we do? Of course, the type of assessments we do for sure, because being online, that should also change. But different boards would have different form of assessments as well. So if you could just help us out with that form.
Ma'am, the frequency of assessments and nature of assessments should change. Instead of, those long 2 hours, 3 hours exams, I think it should be brought down chapter wise, topic wise. And the nature of assessment should also change. It could be as good as, Viva voice. You give open book test, you teach a lesson, you give an open book test, and your answer of the child is with you, and then you spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, verify whether these have been copied or he has written or she has written after understanding it. There could be, quizzes. There could be, online, those tick mark survey type questions.
Sure.
Yes. And then they could also submit essay type answers to you on a Google Drive, where you can assess them. The only thing which this would require is a lot of mutual trust and integrity.
True.
You should be able to give whether it is child's work or mom's work.
Yeah. And it's typing, we can't even catch hold of the handwriting as well.
That's right. So a lot of grooming would be needed, a lot of mutual trust would be needed, and a lot of out-of-box thinking will be needed for this. And it will differ from person to person and from school to school. Technology is only a tool.
So
you can optimize it, you can maximize its use based that how you can use it as fruitfully as possible.
Okay, so thank
you. To answer that?
Definitely, sir. There's a small part to it which I would just like you to quickly answer for me, is that I'm also talking about the number of assessments. Like we would have a lot of CTs, we would have a lot of UT exams, then we have a half-yearly and a final. We're already going to finish when the school started. Yeah, so we can cut that off, because as soon as we see something, they say
there will be directives from CBSE for that.
True, sir.
Cannot go beyond that.
Okay, sir.
As a teacher, my concern is whether learning is taking place or not. Whatever I'm doing, is it reaching to the last child or not? Sir. And understand whatever I have to do, formal, informal, traditional, pragmatic, whatever, I should be sure as a teacher that whatever I wanted to, transact, it has reached to my kids. It should be the parameter right now, nothing else at all. And then, if we are sincere enough, and I'm telling you very honestly, that kids will come back for remedials.
They will.
मुझे समझ में नहीं आया.
Sir, true.
And it's a joy when the child comes back to you, okay, ma'am, can you give me an extra hour or 30 minutes to make me understand? And when these kids start coming back to you, the answer is that it has started reaching.
Correct. True.
Silence is dangerous at this point of time.
Correct, sir. Very, very true. Totally agree, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, sir. So
Good
I'm so
evening, ma'am.
happy to see you because I'm a wife of an ex-Indian. And Gaurava, just I'm thankful to you also for bringing in Madhav Saraswat into the scene today. And it is such a pleasure listening to you, sir. Your
Thank you,
voice, your
ma'am.
tone, and the way you communicate with each one of us is so nice. And I can see that your patience level is too high, which is an asset for any principal. So my gratitude to you.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
sir, I have a very basic question. I'm a principal of a school, DPS HRIT, and this question might be a little offbeat also, that I get a lot of promotional people coming to me at this time for having their all kind of technology based learning to be incorporated in school. But I feel that my teachers are doing a pretty good job, and we ourselves, it is also a time of lot of exploration which is going on, and we all are finding out new tools, and the kind of webinars which are being conducted at our end by IPN and other people, they are also a great learning medium for all of us. And do you suggest that we should go for such kind of promotional things or not? That is
Not
my
at all.
basic question. Because
Not at all. Not at all. Believe in the research of your teachers.
because every day they
I get 50 mails every day, man. Delete kar karke bhi. Forget responding. Every day 50. So I delete them.
Okay, sir.
Time लगता है बहुत ज़्यादा. So trust your teachers. Give your trust to your teachers. Let them research for the subjects, and they will come with the best options. That's one. Two is that there will be a lot of ownership. And third is that those who are,
yes,
with, progressive schools, get in touch with those principals, find out that what all is working. So for example, we were talking yesterday. So Microsoft Teams is working very well. Google Classroom is working very, very well. People are not in favor of Zoom at all. So if there are established ways of doing it, then adopt that. Don't go for these local things at all.
Yeah, Upma, your question. If you can quickly take up your question and yeah, please go ahead.
Very good evening, all the esteemed leaders, and it was nice hearing to you, sir. My question was actually about the assessment thing, but already it has been asked, and I would actually love to share that at this juncture of time, we are more concerned about life skill teaching to our students. When I talk about life skills, I am actually reminded of Jagjeet Singh when he says that हम दोस्ती एहसान वफा भूल गए हैं, जिंदा तो हैं जीने की कला भूल गए हैं.
Very true.
So
Beautifully
this is the time. This is the time we should teach our children honesty when they do those assessment parts. Moreover, on the part of children also, self-awareness is something which we are going to teach them throughout these when we are connected to them through technology. So how can we inculcate some more life skills? Any tips on that?
Lot of open discussion, candid discussion, storytelling, sharing of movies, or light movies which would have inherent meanings in them. I think storytelling, book reading together, and a lot of open communication will help them. That is it. You have to look at, you have to make use of your younger staff because, those who are in early 30s, late 20s, group them into good storytellers. And storytelling is one of the best things to do. But most importantly, if you engage yourself in very candid, childish conversation,
Right.
kids, it is
Like the ice cream one you did.
yes.
Truly.
चलिए
Right.
सर,
Thank you.
3 क्वेश्चंस और हैं,
Okay.
बट क्योंकि मैंने आपसे बोला था कि मैं 2 क्वेश्चन बाद पॉज कर जाऊंगा, तो अब आप बोले तो मैं वो पूछ लेता हूं, अन्यथा 3 और।
ठीक है।
चलिए, साधना पांडे जी, आपका क्वेश्चन। अपने आप को आप अनम्यूट कर लीजिए प्लीज।
गुड इवनिंग गौरव जी, गुड इवनिंग सारस्वत सर।
गुड इवनिंग, कैसे हैं आप?
आई एम फाइन सर, इट इज गुड टू हियर यू एंड सी यू एट द सेम टाइम
Same here.
after a long time.
That's
Sir,
right.
so very nicely you have deliberated the whole procedure of online and virtual platform that we are using these days. Majority of my questions have already been answered by you. It's just a greetings from my side from
That's
Kanpur.
right.
Actually, I've been a student of Scindia School, so I could
That's
not
right.
resist saying good evening to sir.
Thank you, thank you.
चलिए, धन्यवाद साधना
Thank
जी,
you.
थैंक यू।
Thank you, sir.
रेनू,
Thank you,
योर
Gaurav ji.
क्वेश्चन मैम। रेनू, आप रेनू वरुण, प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड इफ यू कैन आस्क योर क्वेश्चन मैम।
नमस्ते।
नमस्ते।
इतने सारे ज्ञानियों के बीच में मैं एक बहुत अदना छोटी अज्ञानी हूँ, और एक छोटा सा सवाल है मेरा। आई एम ऑल्सो अ पेरेंट। पिछले 3 महीनों से एक मुश्किल सवाल बार बार मेरे आगे आके खड़ा हो रहा है कि teachers are fine, learners are fine, challenges are fine. I am only wondering very seriously about the content. क्या हमें समय उस मोड़ पे ला रहा है जहां वो हमें कह रहा है, चाहे हम सुनना चाहें या ना सुनना चाहें, वो हमारी मर्जी है, कि जो हम पढ़ा रहे हैं उसका मेरे बच्चे के भविष्य और उसके जीवन में क्या यथार्थ में रेलेवेंस है, क्या मेरे लिए उसका रेलेवेंस है, और क्या मेरे जो शिक्षक गण हैं उनके लिए जो वो पढ़ा रहे हैं, is it relevant for them as a teacher, and has time and destiny probably brought us to a juncture and a moment in history where, particularly on the Indian landscape, we have a subtle opportunity being offered to us through the medium of COVID-19 and lockdown, that at least the parents, through the teachers and the education institutions, can actually initiate a dialogue on the kind of quote unquote education that is being offered to our future generations.
Very welcome idea, but there are 2 things. One is reality and another is ground reality. The reality is that we should be changing. Personally speaking, I'm of the opinion that education has 2 distinct objectives: education for life and education for livelihood. And education for life should take precedence in any given situation, more so in such precarious times, that education for life, because if you nurture the person will be able to face any given challenge in any given situation. So that is the reality, and we are with you. Most of us, all of us, all the teachers, heads understand this, wish to bring about that change. And I'm very happy to share with you that in the morning we were talking to the secretary of CBSE, and he was also speaking the same thing which you are talking. So most of us, most of the community has started thinking on those lines. But because you are dealing with several 100,000 students, it's not easy. one school can change, bring about these change within one unit. But if you have to bring it in the society at the national level, then it needs a wherewithal, it needs policy making, and it also needs time. But the good thing is, Renuji, that the people have started thinking like you. And if you wish to connect your question with the immediate problem, the immediate need of this hour is meaningful engagement of the child. Don't look at the purpose. Just look if the child is meaningfully engaged the entire day or no. You cannot allow the child to sit idle, in a flat facing the same faces morning till evening. Am I able to answer your question even partially?
Yes, you have, of course, kind of addressed my dilemma very, very comprehensively and convincingly.
Thank you.
But yet, I somehow would reiterate and request that the engagement of the student, plus additionally the engagement of the parent, because this is a beautiful opportunity again, wherein the teacher, the student, and the parent have come into very, very close proximity, whether the parents like it or not. And this is probably a moment in time to create a dialogue. Maybe, as you so rightly said, that it's a long haul dialogue, but we can initiate these dialogues and probably connect them to relevant platforms and forums, so that whatever little pace and momentum that needs to be sustainably maintained on this need of the hour, vis-a-vis the life of the child, it is not lost, because our human memory is extremely short, small, the shelf life is so amazingly limited. So we can't lose this little window of opportunity.
That's right.
Poonam ji,
thank you.
We arrived to the final question, sir. Poonam Rathore, aapka question, and then we will close the session. Okay, Poonam ji.
Very good evening to everyone. I really feel so blessed that I'm a part of this session today. It's really a wonderful session. As I'm also head of the school where we are running the day boarding school as well as the boarding school, I just wanted to know, sir, because my parents are ready, the moment the conditions would be under control and in the favor of the children, they are ready to send their students to their children to the hostel. So what are the important preparation which I supposed to do right now before the guidelines, if you can guide me?
Ma'am, please leave your coordinates with Gaurav ji.
Okay.
And I will help you, because
सर ने वही बात अभी बोली थी पूनम जी. एक plan.
And we will be more than happy. We will be more than happy to support you. But
thank you.
I don't envy your position, for the fact that running 2 schools in one school,
yes,
is hats off to you.
Thank you. And sir,
if you were only boarding school, it was easier than to run day boarding and a boarding school.
Thank you, sir.
I'm more than happy to support you.
Sir, I just wanted to know which platform your teachers are using to give the online classes.
Microsoft Teams.
Microsoft Teams. Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
चलिए धन्यवाद पूनम जी. And I think Madhav sir, thank you very much.
Thank you for this opportunity.
No, not at all, sir, not at all. In fact, बहुत सारी चीजें मैंने सीखी और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि कुछ भी अभी sum up करना will not be doing justice. But thank you very much. It was a pleasure having you with us. Given the fact we still have 158 people, and I'm starting to get a lot of response on the group already. But without a doubt, Your calmness, your demeanor is obviously something worth beholding, if I may say. All we can learn is from you. But thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, friends. Thanks a lot for this time.
Dhanyavad. Thank you, everyone who were able to join us. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure having you with us. Please do send in your feedback, the way you think about the session, so that it makes us, in fact, more geared up in making this better for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Dr. Saraswat Saab.
Thank you, my friend. Take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody.